This clip is brought to you by Mark Bell Slingshot. This gear is made for lifters by lifters. Enjoy this clip.
Upset about something and I want to start barking about it, I'll actually go and do more research and find out why I'm upset. And this is one of the things of two. The other one is like charlatans on the internet, but this one, doping and weightlifting is one of those things. And it always ends up at the same place. We can only rely on WADA and USADA and other drug testing. And so the main place where there's still disparity, so all things considered, is that the national level testing is incredibly varied from country to country. And that is the biggest goddamn issue by far. So the likelihood that China would pop one of their own within their own country is insane. They would never in a million years do that in the sport of weightlifting. In probably any other Olympic sport. Could you imagine China being like, sorry, we can't send our best. He got popped at a local competition.
Yeah.
Or you know, the Chinese, I don't even know, whatever
do we all
anti-doping.
Do we all just regulate ourselves? Is that kind of how it works? Like in the US, is it a US governed body that does the testing, and in China is it the same way?
Yeah, I mean it should be, right? There are some bylaws in place that the only way that you can compete in the Olympics is if you had a certain number of tests done and they had to be split up at certain times. And I think some of those times you don't even have to post a total. You just have to weigh in and it counts, which is fucking crazy. But that is one of the ways where you make sure like that in each year of the quad, you have to compete a certain amount of times. And at every one of those, you have to be tested. But if we're looking at USADA, once you get good enough, and this is all for weightlifting specific, this is my world of weightlifting. I know the people at the top directly. I see them all the time. I know like often when they get tested, like they tell me. And so this doesn't have to do with every other sport, because a lot of people hear this and they go, oh, here's an American bitching about other countries. It's such like high, like right. America's high and mighty. If only we were allowed to take drugs, we'd be better at weightlifting. Like that's not what I'm saying. I promise you. Once you get selected to be in a testing pool, USADA, you sign up a slot, and USADA will come at any point 365 days a year, and they will knock on your door and collect a sample. Not only that, you're highly, highly likely to be tested at every national event that you go to, which means which you have to, right? Because in order to qualify for Pan Ams, for Worlds, for the Olympics, you have to compete at these places. USADA does not give a flying fuck about any athlete. They want to get them in trouble. They want to pop them. Okay, so there is no corruption there involved as far as weightlifters being able to get away with doping through USADA. USADA wants to catch you. Okay. There's also no help from the American government governing the NGB of Olympic weightlifting. So USAW, there's zero help from them to try and get people to get away with doping. The likelihood that is happening in other countries is extremely high. And in fact, if we look historically at some of these countries, Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan are the two that I can think of predominantly. If you could you pull up a picture of Team Astana weightlifting team?
I love how you know this shit, man.
They'd be yoked out of their fucking minds.
So Team Astana, this is I don't know if Astana is a place in Kazakhstan or it was a company or something that's I don't know. But this was the Kazakh team that was kicking ass. Ilya Ilyin, debatably one of the goats of the sport. These guys right here. So every single one of them pissed hot. Every single one of them at an international competition. Every single one of them served bans. All of them. Okay. So off the top of my head, in the last 10 to 20 to 30 years, there's only been one American athlete at an international competition to be popped. Okay. That does not mean we can also go to USAW, not USAW, USADA, and you can look up all the sanctions in weightlifting. I do it all the time. And you will find people who've been popped in weightlifting, but the ones at the top they're just not getting popped. Maybe they're getting away with it. Maybe they're doing test suspension. Maybe they're doing things that I don't know. But that seems to be the issue. Somebody said this. His name's Nat Aram. He's the owner of Hook Grip. Do you guys know Hook Grip?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said it is a net zero. It's not a net negative for these people. So getting popped doesn't really damage their country or their team. Now it kind of does, but in the past it never did. Okay, so this lifter can't lift anymore. Whoop, pull one right up next. Doesn't make any difference. We started to sanction countries, so and you know, the lack of competitors at the Olympics. So like a country like Romania was only allowed to send one lifter, whereas America had 8 total. So that's the disparity I'm talking about. I'm not trying to say that if we did steroid, like, it would be very interesting to see. There's a famous American lifter, Ian Wilson, and this is all public knowledge. I mean, he was popped. So that's actually the second one that I'm thinking of. He was popped, but he was a notorious 170 kilo snatcher at best. 170, maybe a little bit heavier. And then anywhere from 200 to 210. 210, I think, would be his best ever. After he was popped, he posted on Instagram some of the lifts that he had hit in training: 187 snatch and a 227 clean and jerk. So I don't know what 187 is, but 227 is 500 pounds. He always wanted to do that. That is a 10% jump in both lifts after lifting in the sport for 12 straight years. These are the sort of things that steroids can do. You know, take a big leap like that.
Hey, I know you guys enjoyed the video, so like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord below. Talk to y'all later.